Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very wonderful day and a very, very beautiful day. It's quite windy today, guys. It's literally windy and cold, colder than yesterday, colder today. But yesterday was pretty warm. But the sun is still up and it's still quietly still warm, but not exactly warm enough as it is. So yesterday on, I hope you all enjoy your weekend, which I'll see you on next week Monday. As I quietly previously told you, I'll see you on next week Monday, and I all hope you have a blessed weekend and a blessed weekend and a very happy weekend. Also, I'll see you next week Monday. Today's our last day, and I will see you next week Monday. So in today's episode, we're here to talk about Ice Wall, who's a powerful ancient who's a powerful villain, who's an ancient and powerful, deadly villain who's quietly unknown throughout the rest of sacred existence and unknown throughout the rest of sacred existence and throughout the known universe. Ice Wall was trained and led and born and raised by the original Little Magic in the early centuries. His power is the power of controlling ice and using ice magic to freeze worlds and destroying civilizations as he picked up. He even formed an ancient secret society of supervillains known as Sacred Five that is quietly dedicated in destroying worlds and planets and freezing them and turning them into ice worlds and ice planets for his own glory and for his own glory and for his own sinister quest that he quietly has managed to quietly became more creative within the centuries for his own sinister conquests and for his own sinister plans and for his own sinister plans and for his own sinister plans and for his own sinister conquests that has been able to quietly become more creative for the last few centuries is able to exactly become more creative for the last few centuries. In his early life within the early centuries, he was raised by the Laurel Magic. Shang, who was the most powerful, was a power druid, presented Ice Wall, Zuko, Jet, who is the new Little Magic in the far future of the war. And Zuko was the most powerful supervillain and also a great dark hunter and a dark formation hunter who seeks order and justice. They were quietly presented to the Little Magic in the early life to show the Little Magic that these are his successors who were able to fulfill his legacy and its goals. The Lord of Magic was quietly pleased at the throne room. He was very quietly successfully pleased to meet his protege, but he was not quietly happy to see that his son Mendex will not become his protege or his successor after he dies or leaves the mortal universe and the mortal world to go through the afterlife. But he was successfully pleased to see three of his successful proteges standing beside him at the throne room. Icewall was pretty young at the time, very young. He was at the age of 5. Zuko was at the age of 7. Zuko was at the age of 7, and also Jet was at the age of 9, meaning that each of them were older than each other, very quietly older than each other. The Little Magic was very quietly pleased to see Icewall and his abilities and his power to controlling and manipulate ice and Chronos's thermal Chronos's powers, able to manipulate ice and the weather of snow and ice, and able to manipulate ice and its powers and its also inabilities in creating an ice sword and an ice weapon. He was thrilled to see that Ice Sword could become his very next greatest successor in his mission. For that, he gave Icewall a mission and a destiny that he has to complete. These are the destiny: to freeze all other worlds and other planets and to destroy them and enslave the rest of the population, forcing them into his empire, into his ice empire, and also forcing them under his rule. And also to do so, if they submit willingly, then he will not destroy the world or the populations of the world, and he must search for the secrets of immortality and for the secrets of death and life itself in order for him to become an immortal villain and in order for him to rule the sacred world in a sacred universe and to wipe out the supernaturals and to mysteriously remove the Four Nation Hunters and the Alliance and the newly heroes and the prophesized child and the newly heroes who pose a magnificent threat to his sinister plans and to his goals. Icewear sadistically complied and said to his master that he will exactly do that and he will exactly comply and he will exactly do just that as he said to his new master. Shang, the power druid, dispatched sent that is quietly Universe barking on the other dogs, quietly yapping with the other dogs. Always they are always quietly talking and yapping with the other dogs, and those are the other dogs quietly yapping and talking with Universe. They are always usually talking, guys. So anyway, Icewall was quietly sent to the far fringes of the known universe, meaning far away on the other worlds, meaning on the ice planets, to be born and raised by the Ice Clan, in which he was exactly trained in hand-to-hand combat, master tactician, strategist as well, marksmanship, swordsmanship, hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship and swords, taser bullets, wearing an ice super villain armor in order to prepare to go to war, able to exactly master his abilities and his abilities, able to exactly master his powers and his abilities as well. He's been exactly mastering his abilities over for the few millennial centuries, and he's been an unknown ancient supervillain who's been able to keep his presence and his sacred history and his history from the sacred world and from the four nation hunters for so long, and he's been able to remain under the radar for so many centuries, able to work within secrecy, able to work within operating within secrecy with the dark druids and with the dark witches and with the ice clan and with the ice druids and ice witches and ice faithful. They born and raised him, trained him to fight in hand-to-hand combat. He took down the most powerful ranking druids and the most powerful dark witches and dark faithful with his powers and with his abilities, able to destroy them with a snap of his ice powers and his abilities. This quietly pleased the dark druids and the dark witches, as they were successfully pleased and happy to see Icewall rising through the ranks with his abilities and his new power. Icewall even started to go rogue on his own. Excuse me, he started to go rogue, meaning going rogue for his own ambition. He had his own plan, but he was willing to finish up the Loro Magic's goals and his mission and his conquest by any and all means necessary. He started attacking the ice druids and the members of the Ice Clan, and started to defect from the cause, but knowing fully well that he will continue the Loro Magic's goal and plan and purposes for his own sinister plans that he had. He had his own sinister plans and his own goals for his own villainous mission. Icewall started waging war with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders across the other worlds, across the known worlds, and the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders have conquered, so that exactly freezing the inhabitants of the other worlds and the other civilizations, creating huge ice mountains and ice temples and ice mountain, remaking the planet into his own natural environment, turning it into an ice world and into an ice planet, making it into essential, creating it into its own central headquarters for him to exactly rule and govern his followers and the rest of his followers and the rest of his acolytes into. He was able to exactly meet up with the rest of his followers within the ice temple, and told them that it's time for them to exactly begin his work and his mission in starting to wreaking havoc across the known world and across the known galaxy, which is exactly what they did with the aid of 7 and 9, who's a founder and a leader of the 7 Nation Hunters, and he's also a hunter himself, and 9, who's a founder and leader of the 9 Nation Hunters. These are the two villains. These are the two super villains who joined forces with Icewall in his mission. They were able to reconvene with them. On his ice temple, on his ancient ice temple, and they were able to exactly inform him, showing a huge hologram of the Loro Magics, and showing the huge hologram of the Shadow Empires ruling and ravaging on the known worlds and the known galaxy. Icewall told the two members of his new secret society that it's best that they remain low when the Shadow Empire is in power and the Loro Magic is quietly in power. Then there will be a new hero and a new cause of new superheroes. Superheroes will be able to move him from power. When that happens, that will exactly strike and attack when the rest of the heroes and the Four-Nation Hunters are unaware. During at the time, Icewall began his operations by working with the additional Empire warlords commanders who secretly supplied him with destructive technologies and powerful Shadow Empire technologies and red and yellow purple boxes in order for him to open up and teleport throughout the known worlds and throughout the known galaxy. He supplied these technologies through his operatives and through his associates in order for them to use to creating havoc and chaos within the Four Nation Hunters operation, restoring peace and balance. Icewall even fought against the monsters and against the evil monsters and evil beings that threatened the sacred peace for his own ends and for his own plans. Even fought against the Four Nation Hunters within some time and was able to exactly clash with them, but his armor was permanently damaged when the Four Nation Hunter dagger stepped the chest, stepped Icewall's chest armor right here at the center, and it was able to exactly affect him when his ice power core went offline and was quite gravely injured. Seven, who appeared out of nowhere, able to exactly cast, created a huge gas wall in order for them to exactly retreat. Icewall was taken straight to the medical bay of the temple in order for him to exactly to secretly regeneratively heal, and his regenerative healing kicked in soon as possible. So as his ice powers and his armor was quietly fully healed, as his followers repaired his armor and made some improvements with his armor and in his powers began to grow mysteriously, very darkly, darkly mysteriously. It began to grow very mysteriously in a very dark way, in a very dark and mysterious way, able to creating new dark powers and new dark abilities for him. Icewall became skilled in super speed and in super hearing and in super sight and in telepathy, and also inheriting powers of telepathy and inheriting the powers of hearing in people's thoughts and in hearing what they exactly think and in hearing what they say behind his back. He became more crafty and more powerful and more paranoid and more dedicated to his mission and to his cause. In doing so, he even formed and reassembled a group of his that existed for millennia, known as the Sacred Five. In doing so, he sent two invitations to two supervillains known as Seven and Nine. In doing so, the two villains became the two founding members, the original members of his secret society, of his ancient secret society of supervillains known as Sacred Five, in helping it with its goal in freezing worlds and in destroying worlds and planets. Icewall and the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches created a huge dark machine capable of destroying and decimating worlds and planets across the known worlds and across the known galaxy, which in doing so created a huge attention, huge amount of attention of Four Nation Hunters in order for them to stop them in a mission. The battle against the Four Nation Hunters waged on upon the machine. Icewall was able to fight against the Four Nation Hunters and was able to successfully battle them and was able to successfully wound them. He was able to wound some of the Four Nation Hunters during the battle. Some of them were able to exactly destroy the machine. Lytrus, who's the leader and founder of the Universal Defender Hero, was able to use her newfound magical abilities to destroy the machine, to destroy the dark magic machine, and so was able to destroy it completely. In destroying it, Icewall was very quietly angry and very quietly complexly displeased with the result. The Dark Druids were able to take him away and teleporting him to safety. They were able to meet at the temple, and Icewall was very much quietly beside himself, seeing his greatest efforts being destroyed right in front of him, and there was nothing else exactly. The other Dark Druid was able to exactly appear and telling him the news that the Lord of Magic has passed away, and his passing lawyer has created a huge power vacuum within the known universe and within the Shadow Empire and within the rest of sacred existence. In doing so, Icewall decided that this is the opportunity he's been waiting for, the perfect time for him to attack, which he exactly did so. He began sending more invitations to other sinister villains and to other sinister criminals to join his cause and his secret society and his organization, which by doing so, and more supervillains and more Sacred Face began to join. I don't even know exactly. I don't know the others by my head, but the others began to join. The others began to join his secret society in helping him with these goals. The Russian Empire warlords commanders decided not to show their loyalty and their allegiance to Icewall. Icewall decided to destroy one and kill one in front of the others and force them to pledge their allegiance to him. Exactly by doing so, the Russian Empire warlords and commanders told him that the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders are still waging war, and they're still waging war with the Universal Heroes, and are still quietly fighting against the Universal Heroes, stating that the Intergalactic Coalition has managed to liberate thousands of worlds and planets from the Shadow Empire's control, and saying that the Harlequin Core Empire is rising, and it's becoming the next dominant empire, throughout the sacred universe and throughout the known universe. I will say that won't become a problem to his operations as long as his primary goal and purpose is to destroy the worlds and all the other planets. In doing so, he asked for the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders resources in order for them to neutralize their resources for his ultimate goal and for his ultimate plan. He created he again created another huge dark machine powered up by ice magic and ice power, capable of freezing and destroying a world with one fell swoop, which it exactly did that. Seven was quite remarked at the machine's work and the machine enhancement's power, and was very quietly pleased seeing the seeing the machine's power working in hand as it destroyed a civilization and another planet and all other worlds. In doing so, Iceworld began to demonstrate that this is his power and this is his way in tightening and controlling the known universe and the rest of sacred existence, and in conquering other worlds and other planets for his own plans, and to fulfilling the Rolo Magic's goal and purpose and destiny for himself exactly. When he heard the rumors of the new Rolo Magic, Aswell felt threatened with the existence of the new Rolo Magic and his new secret society. In doing so, he decided to reconvene with the members of Sacred Five at the 5th of July, which they were able to reconvene. Sacred Face told him that the new Rolo Magic would disrupt their plans and their interests. It's time that for the Universal Heroes and Intergalactic Coalition and the Four Nation Hunters and the United Heroes and the World Heroes, we have to draw the attention away from the operation in order to draw the attention away from the new Rolo Magic. Icewell said that that'll be quietly as easy as possible. That can easily be arranged soon as possible. As soon as the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders wage war with each other, the attention will easily be drawn away. And he was successfully quietly pleased with this result. As the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders fought each other for the control of the Shadow Empire throne, the Universal Heroes and the rest of the members of the Intergalactic Coalition were there to intercept the war in the battle against the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders. They were able to stop the battle against the other Shadow. They were able to stop the battle and the war against the other Shadow Empire. Against the other Shadow Empire warlords commanders who were fighting amongst each other. They were able to take some of them into custody. Some of them were able to escape through their battle cruisers. Others of them were able to fight. Were able to fight within the atmosphere within their battle cruisers, decimating all the other battle cruisers within the atmosphere. The sky was raining down of all battle cruisers within the atmosphere, creating nothing but war and raging war against each other. The sacred galactic conflict was in a huge, terrifying mess. It was entering its dark stages than ever before. The Dark Druids and the other Dark Witches and the other Dark Faithful were ordered by Icewall to intercept the Universal Magic Heroes and to keep them busy and occupied, which they successfully did that. In doing so, Icewall was attempting to steal a powerful magical blue crystal. Lytris intercepted him in another magical dimension, and they were able to fight for some brief time as Lytris released her magical abilities, as Icewall releases ice magical abilities in fighting Lytris the Light Hunter, and they were battling in quiet time as they were battling. They both saw each other as evenly matched. They were both evenly matched with their abilities and evenly matched with their skills and their abilities. Icewall took out his sword. Lytris took out her sword and her blade in order to fight Icewall, and they both battled each other as in they were evenly matched. Icewall told Lytris that he will fulfill his destiny and his goal and his purpose. Lytris told Icewall that she will not let him destroy other worlds and other planets and conquer other civilizations, no matter what the cost, no matter what the price of her team and her forces and her operative will prevent him, no matter what. And Icewall was able to disappear through the Smoke Screen Act, and told Lytris that this will not be the end. would not be the exact end of his plans and for his sinister plans. He was able to reconvene with the members of Sacred Five and reassured them that the plan is quietly in place and that everything else is quietly in place. He will be able to hire an intergalactic bounty hunter to hunt down one of the members of the Sacred Team in order to find out how many of them are still operating with each other, and that exactly came to pass. The bounty hunter was quite unsuccessful with the mission, as one able to kill the members of the Sacred Team. In doing so, Aswell paid attention that the Sacred Team is secretly coordinating with the Universal Heroes, the United Heroes, the World Heroes, the Intergalactic Coalition, the Universal Space Heroes, the Universal Defending Heroes, the Four Nation Hunters, the Alliance, the New Alliance, and the Five Nation Hunters, and the Fire Heroes, Water Heroes, Earth Heroes, Air Heroes, and all the other heroes. He even became aware of Lytras's activity and her team of superheroes known as the Universal Defenders, saying that they might become a huge threat to their plans. They might become a huge threat to their plans and to their sinister plans. The other Shadow Empire warlord shown up from the shadows and stated that he has a plan for them. He has a plan for them to keep them busy and to keep them occupied soon as possible, and the operation will fully be able to work. Within the past few months, the conflicts against the Shadow Empire warlords that are fighting amongst each other, and the Intergalactic Coalition and the other Shadow Empire warlords who are clashing with the Intergalactic Coalition, and the Universal Heroes who are able to disappear for 12 months, still battling against Dark Masters forces of this empire who are trying to conquer the sacred universe and the known universe. In the known universe, Icewall was able to hold a video conference with the members of the Sacred Five, telling them that the operations in conquering other worlds and other civilizations is still quietly going, and the Dark Druid was able to inform him that the Dark Witch Eve, who's a high-ranking official in Lord Justin's empire, has quietly disappeared and was never quietly seen again. And Icewall stated that this is the perfect time for him to speak to Dark Master, which he did that exactly. He was able to meet up with Dark Master. On the 2nd of August, and he was able to teleport straight to Dark Master's dominion, meaning his dominion, his empire, his home world, where he rules and runs his empire, and was able to speak with him. Dark Master proposed a powerful alliance, stating that he will help him rule and destroy other worlds and other planets. In return, he will need his help in conquering other worlds and other planets for his empire and for his civilization. In return, he will supply him and his secret. I will supply Icewall and his secret society with endless destructive technologies and more powerful technologies as part of the agreement. And they both made a deal and a pact that they'll fight, that they'll both exactly help each other in the long-term plans, and also in their sacred goals. Icewall was quietly happy and pleased with this. So was Dark Master, quietly and happy and pleased with this. Elderly Granny appeared at the back of them, and Dark Master presented his next high-ranking official, stating that she's a member of another ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the Five, that decides the fate of humanity and that wants to rule the sacred universe and the sacred world. Elderly Granny operates on Earth as a founder and leader of Elderly Granny of Elderly Industry. It's an organization that creates an imaginative world, and a place for people to exactly throw the imagination and to play with the imagination and to roam free and experience. While in secret, it's a way to test humans. It's a way to test humans to see if they possess the super gene for Dark Master's empire, and to use the super gene and to exploit the super gene and its powers and its abilities, and to test the human race and to see if one of them are known as a new species as superhumans, which are quietly useful for Dark Master's empire to create a vast army of superhumans, in helping him to conquer the known universe and the sacred universe and the sacred world for his own plan. Icewall purposely agreed that he will aid Elderly Granny in her plans with the Order of the Five, his goals, and in preventing the Order of the Five and preventing the Order of the Five from conquering the world, and also enabling him from conquering humanity and helping him from conquering humanity. And also by doing so, he will strengthen his alliances, and he will assist him and providing and will assist him and aid him in trafficking more superhumans, and more superhumans and more superhumans and alien and also other alien races who may possess the super gene, and to becoming an unwilling who to become unwilling soldiers in his army. That was exactly what's agreed. He was able to teleport back to his central headquarters of his ice temple, and told the members of Sacred Five that now they have a new ally, in their cause and in their mission, telling him that he will aid them. He will aid them in their mission as long as they aid him in his mission and his conquest to conquering humanity and mankind and the world and the sacred world and the sacred universe. The members of Sacred Five distantly agreed that they'll exactly help him and that they'll exactly help him in assisting him in all his goals and all his mission. He told the members of Sacred Five that they ally his Dark Master, and that he reassured them that he will supply them with endless technologies and endless destructive technologies, as long as they disrupt the Shadow Empire and preventing it from rising to power and becoming the most dominant empire in the entire known universe. Icewall was able to exactly do that. He told the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders to start conquering other worlds and other civilizations within the 23rd of September, and the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders statistically complied, and they were able to exactly do so. They conquered thousands of worlds and thousands of planets. The Sacred Team and the United Heroes were able to liberate those worlds and those planets. They were able to fight off against the Shadow Empire gunships. They were able to fight against Shadow Empire gunships and battle cruisers upon the atmosphere, able to decimate them with the assistance and help from the Formation Hunter Council and from the Intergalactic Coalition. In doing so, the battle was quietly drift, as we were able to take some of the other Shadow Empire warlords into custody and sending them straightly into the Sacred Prison and to the Dark Ark and to the Astral Prison. There are 3 prisoners now: the Astral Prison, the Dark Ark, the Sacred Prison. The Astral Prison is compromised. It's under the control of another supervillain known as Professor War, who secretly releases these criminals. The Universal Heroes are well aware of that, and they've told their colleagues and their sacred colleagues and the other heroes that the Astral Prison is compromised. Right now, they've dispatched the other sacred criminals across the Sacred Prison to remain there and to interrogate it there, and to able to tell them and to able to ask them the truth, who dispatched them and who sent them. Mind Girl was able to read the minds of the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, and judging by them, it was Icewall who was quietly behind this. She told Grayson, the new Universal Man, and Hank Starwood, who was the leader of the Alliance, told him that Icewall was quietly behind this. And Grayson asked, who the hell is Icewall? Hank Starwood told him that Icewall is an ancient, powerful, deadly super ice villain who is determined to destroy other worlds and other civilizations, and also conquering them for his own sinister plans. For many centuries, Icewall has plagued the known universe through death and destruction and through darkness and corruption. He's even corrupted the sacred government, and the magic ministry for his own sinister purpose, and his plan in order to tighten his grip and controlling the known universe and the sacred world and the sacred universe. In doing so, Icewall has become the most formidable, horrifying adversary, unevenly known, and he's quietly unknown throughout sacred history and throughout the rest of the known universe. He's a powerful and ancient villain who hungers for more power and for more control and for more destruction. He hungers for that. Universal Man told Hank that the Intergalactic Coalition's forces are stressed in with the New Roller Magic, and Zuko who is emerging from the shadows and who's about to wreak untold havoc. They have to be well aware and well alert on all the sacred threats, and that they have to fight for the sacred peace, for the sacred world, sacred peace, and fighting all the monsters and all the super villains and all the super criminals. Mind Girl and Warboy told Universal Man and Origin Board that they'll hold down the fort while they continue waging a war against the Shadow Empire and Dark Master's forces, which they still able to do so. Adelaide Grant was able to reconvene with the members of Sacred Five, and told them that the plan was in place, and that exactly happened. On the 2nd of October. Told them that there was a plan quietly in place in order to take care of the Universal Heroes and the Sacred Team and Lytruses, and Lytrus's team in order to take them in order to taking care of Lytrus's team and the rest of her colleagues. She already told them and reassured Icewall's concern that there was a plan in place to take care of Lytrus and the Universal Defending Heroes, and that everything else is in place, and that she will deal with them. Despite this, Icewall was born and raised by the original Lord of Magic in the early centuries. He was at the throne room presented by the power druid known as Shang to the Lord of Magic, stating that he could become his greatest successor, and the Lord of Magic was sadistically quietly pleased. He was raised by the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Ice Druids and the members of the Ice Clan. They taught him the ways of master tactician, strategist, hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, marksmanship, agility, endurance, mastering his powers and his abilities, his ice powers and his abilities, and his superpowers to control them and also to negate them and also to mastering them. Despite this, Icewall is very ruthless, cruel in nature. He's a powerful ice supervillain, and he's also a hunter. He has the abilities of a hunter. He's very skillful in hand-to-hand combat, and also in mastering the elements within him, able to manipulate ice and his powers, turning his ice powers into a sword. And he's very evilly matched with Lytrus, the Light Hunter, who's the leader of the Universal Defending Heroes. Lytrus is actually. Lytrus is Icewall to Lytrus is he's actually his predecessor, and as well as his formidable adversary. Even Icewall considered Lytrus to become her formidable adversary, makes her formidable opponent. She was very sadistically pleased that he found a formidable opponent known as Lytrus, who's a light hunter and a leader of the Universal Defending Heroes, who defend and protect the sacred world and the sacred universe and humanity from destruction, saving it from destruction and chaos, plagued by dark villains and known threats and unknown threats and unknown criminals. Despite this, Icewall is very thirsty to fight Lytrus, evenly eager to clash with her and fight with her again. He even trained his followers in hand-to-hand combat, taught them the ways of hand-to-hand combat. He's a powerful strategic. He even formed a powerful alliance with other powerful criminals to utilize their resources for his ultimate goal and for his ultimate plan. He has a grand new vision to remake the known universe into his own image, into his own grand vision, into his own grand image of himself, and he sees himself as the new ruler of the known universe, and as well as the sacred universe and the sacred world and the golden universe, the star universe, the mix of the robotics and the over universe. He sees himself as those rulers of those universes, and is willing to conquer all of the other universes, the gold, star, mixel, sacred, robotics, over. He's willing to conquer those universes and humanity and rule. He's even destroyed thousands of worlds and thousands of planets. His war with Lytrus and the Light Hunters has caused a huge rift among the other hunters and within the Ice Clan, forcing him to rethink his strategies and his plan. He's a powerful strategist and a super tactician. He thinks. He's very patient and very impatient sometimes, forming an alliance with Dark Master, who's a lord and leader of his dark empire that's been dedicated to ruling and conquering and controlling the known universe and the sacred universe and the sacred world. Despite this, Dark Master is ruthless. He's now an ally of the Sacred Five, an ally as well of the Dark Fates. He aligns himself with powerful villains who are quietly in control of their destinies and their mission. He even dispatches high-ranking official Adderley Granny to assist Icewall in his plans and his goals in conquering the rest of sacred existence and the rest of the sacred world. Icewall even formed an alliance with the Dark Seekers and with Amber's follower in order for them to neutralize their goals for his own sinister plans, in order for his sinister plans to come to fruition. But Universal Man and the Universal Heroes were able to stop them like this. They were able to prevent them just like this. With a snap of a finger, they were able to prevent them just like that. Prevent them in a short space of time. And despite this, he hates and annoys, and he's annoyed with the presence of the sacred team, the Universal Heroes, the United Heroes, the World Heroes, the Earth heroes, the Fire heroes, the Universal Space heroes, the Universal Defending heroes, and the leaders of those heroes. He's annoyed by them and he quietly hates them, and he's willing to destroy them and wipe them out by aligning himself with powerful criminals and supervillains in order for them to utilize their resources for his ultimate goal and for his ultimate plan. He has a grand vision to rule the sacred universe and the sacred world for his people and for his followers and for himself. By destroying other worlds and other planets, he wants to become the next ruler of the sacred world and also the sacred universe. The only thing that stands in his way in his goal are the Four Nation Hunters, Lytris and the Universal Defenders, and Lytris and Universal Defending Heroes, the Light Hunters, Universal Man, Hank Starwood, Sam Starwood, Smith Star, Ivy Ferris Fire, the Universal Heroes, War Boy, Rex, Mind Girl, Universal Magic Girl, the United Heroes, the World Heroes, the Sacred Team, the Fire Heroes, the Water Heroes, and the Intergalactic Coalition. They all pose a magnificent threat to his plans and to any of them, and they've compromised his plans for quite some time and for millennia. He has a long-term plan to rule the sacred universe and to rule the sacred world. He even summons monsters and creatures from other dark universes, from other dark dimensions and other dark dimensions, from other dark dimensions and other dark universes in order to fight the universal heroes, in order to fight the universal heroes and the Four Nation Hunters in preventing them with these in preventing their interference with these operations and with these plans. He even creates dark and powerful machines with the aid of the Dark Seekers, a group of dark and powerful magic users, dark and powerful dark magic users who are formerly led by Amber, the goddess of power, the witch of power, the goddess of power, the witch of power, who are now led by Icewall, in aiding him with his dark experiments notation. He uses the dark powers, he uses the dark magic of the Dark Seekers to further his own goals and his ambition in harvesting shadow energy and all the crystals and all the powers and creating monsters and terrifying creatures ever seen and heinous, and even in creating heinous abominations and experiments with these powers and with these gifts, combining his experiments and his expertise and his intellect and his intelligence with other dark magic users to further his own goal and his own ambition. Despite this, Icewall sees himself as a ruler of the sacred world and of the sacred universe. He will do whatever it takes to become the ruler of the sacred world and of the sacred universe. He's a founder and leader of an ancient secret society of supervillain known as the Sacred Five that is dedicated to destroying worlds and ruling them and conquering them by any and all means necessary. Icewall is ruthless, cruel in nature. According to Lytris' database, Icewall can never be underestimated. He is the most formidable villain and foe and adversary that the Universal Defending Heroes have encountered. Throughout sacred history, he's unknown. He's an unknown villain, but he's an ancient villain, an all-powerful villain. He despises heroes and he hates them. He hates them so much. He doesn't like to be competed. He hates competition. With the Order of the Five, the founders, the Dark King, Dark Grey, he hates to compete against those other secret societies, and Lord Ra and Lord Shadowjack, he despises them, and even the Lord Winter King, he despises them all, and he doesn't want to compete with them. But despite this, he will not kill them and he will not hurt them. He will instead form an alliance with these top competitors for them to combine their goal and their interests. Guys, this war is nothing but a pandemic. A sacred galactic war is become nothing but a pandemic. The power vacuum has affected everyone within the known universe and within the rest of sacred existence. All the other Shadow Empire warlords are forming alliances with other sacred societies of supervillains in order for them to neutralize their goals for their own sinister plans. In order for them to neutralize their goals for their own sinister plans and for their own sinister plans in conquering worlds and planets and civilizations throughout the known universe and throughout the sacred world. They want to remove and wipe out the Four Nation Hunters and the Five Nation Hunters and the Six Nation Hunters and the Eight Nation Hunters and the Nine Nation Hunters who pose a threat to their goals. The Nine Nation Hunters are our allies for some of the other Shadow Empire warlords and as well for the commanders. Elodie Granny is now an ally and a member of Sacred Five and a member of the Order of the Five. She joins those two secret societies because in doing so, it will further her own goal and her master's goal. in conquering humanity and the world and the rest of sacred existence by any and all means necessary. Ice Wall is very strategic, very cruel, ruthless, patient, and very, very master strategist and tactician, not meant to be underestimated. He's an ancient, powerful, deadly supervillain who has mastered his powers over the following centuries, trained and raised by the ice druids and ice faithful and ice witches and dark druids and dark witches and dark faithful. Not to be meant to be underestimated. He is even now the successor of the original Little Magic. He is his successor, guys. He is his prodigy. His literal prodigy. He is his literal prodigy. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode about Ice Wall, and I all hope you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful, blessed weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Where we'll be able to continue this episode. So, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and enjoy your day. See you on Monday, and have a blessed weekend, and have a blessed evening and afternoon. See you guys. Bye.